All right, episode 9.
It's the finale.
Woo. We made it. We made it to the end.
Yes, a lot to talk about.
Let's get into it.
Why are you doing this? My programming directive is to destroy the Vision.
So we got to see the two Visions fight.
We did.
I'm saying Vision versus Cataract because I do not support the name White Vision.
I don't.
I don't like it.
I don't subscribe to that.
No. Cataract just sounds better. You know.
It does.
Vision, Cataract sounds better.
Yes.
Looks better. On paper.
Right. But just their fight scene was highly entertaining.
Yeah. It's interesting seeing two beings with the same abilities fight against each other. I'm like, you can't use no tricks on me because I got the tricks. I'm going to use the tricks on you.
Exactly.
But they're not going to work because we both tricking each other, but it's the same.
Right.
You is me and I am you.
Right. That's just how it goes. But it was interesting. And I liked when they had that like moment of when Cataract had that moment of realization, like, wait, I'm supposed to destroy Vision. However,
right.
Vision
me.
too.
Vision tell him, but you Vision too.
Explain it. Break it down to me. Mm-hmm. Explain it to me.
Hell yes.
So I don't hurt myself.
Our request elaboration.
Like,
yes.
That is the quote of the show.
Yes.
I love it. Put it on a t-shirt.
But I think the only thing now is that once he had this realization of who he is, we never saw him again. So I don't know if he...
Where did he go?
Went off by himself? Did S.W.O.R.D take him?
My question, because what it almost looked like to me, if I'm remembering correctly, almost looked like Vision. I don't know, did Vision touch him? And it almost like when he touched him, he sent him away? Or was that Cataract sending himself away?
So I was thinking that when he touched him, it was just basically like, I'm downloading the memories that I have into you. And then I felt like he just went off on his own. Like, that was his decision to
I thought he
go.
touched him again after that. That's where I was like, I don't know if my
Okay.
memory, but yeah.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure if he was touching him like, I'll be back because we gonna merge. Or, you know,
Right.
but he didn't, so...
Yeah, no. I was hoping that he would give him some color.
A little bit more than just a little yellow hue in the forehead.
Right.
Like, you need...
Which didn't even
You
stay.
need a new outfit.
Right.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
But I don't think that's the last time we've seen of him. He'll be back.
No, for
I
sure.
don't think so either.
But he will be a different Vision Cataract since he has the memories now, or at least the data.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm curious where this pilgrimage, or it kind of reminds me of when people go through this like journey of self-discovery. They kind of just like go off on their own and like, let me go explore, let me have experiences to figure out who I am in the world. I feel like that's kind of where he's at right now.
Yeah.
So
I think he has to maybe try to rewire himself to be like, well, these people aren't really the enemy, as I've been told. I shouldn't be destroying these beings.
Right. He
Because
doesn't
I
want...
am one of them as well.
Right.
They
and
are
I don't
me.
think he wants to be controlled. Once Vision revealed that
sure.
to him, he was like, no.
Yeah.
So
I don't know where he's gone off. You know, there have been people talking about how Hank Pym in the comic books was responsible for creating this version of Vision.
Right.
So, or was it Vision in general?
Yeah, Vision.
So I'm wondering if he's going to pop up in some capacity in the next Ant-Man movie and what role he'll play in that, if that's a thing that they're going to explore.
Right.
So I'm
Also,
curious.
you know, like Vision, when he was saying goodbye to Wanda, mentioned something about, you know,
Who knows what I'll be next?
Yes.
So,
Yes. So he's coming back. We're going to see him
I think so.
again. Paul Bettany, you still got a job for now.
You
Yes.
still
You're still employed.
Yes.
So yeah, we're going to see. It was good.
No, stand down!
Monica.
I think she had her powers before Westview. Or at least she knew something was different.
I request elaboration.
Just because just going back through the rest of the shows, anytime Darcy would bring up something, she wasn't worried. Just like, oh,
Right.
okay. At no point when she's really using her powers does she seem that surprised.
Right.
Like maybe they're a little bit more enhanced, but she doesn't seem surprised to
That is a
she's doing
very
something.
good point. The scene where she was taking the bullets.
Yeah.
I don't not to say that she doesn't care about children. I don't know if she, as a person, was naturally self-sacrificing in that way to be like, I'm going to stand in front to protect these children from these bullets, without knowing that she had the ability to like
to stop
absorb it and like stop it or
Right.
whatever. Like, I don't know if she jumped in front of them not knowing that she was able to do that.
Right.
So it's like, when did you get these powers?
Yes.
You know, going through the hex, just like you said, amped them up a little bit. But like, when did this all start? Because just like you said, she was really unfazed. Like, the little CAT scan came back. She was like, I ain't got time for that. We got to figure out what's going on next. What's happening inside of here. When she went through the hex on her own, and obviously you're seeing the world differently, it's just kind of like, okay, well, that's cool. That's the thing that happened.
Right.
Let's move on to, you know, completing the mission or whatever. So I'm wondering when she got those powers.
Right.
And where she got them from.
Right. Was it
And
a
has she
space
been like
mission?
tinkering around
Yeah.
with them and like testing her abilities on her own.
Right.
Did she get it hanging around the Fantastic Four?
Right.
Right.
You know that she's had space missions.
Yeah.
So something.
Maybe it was a Jean Grey situation. Something from outer space, just like, hey. You know?
But something. I mean, because just even her interaction with Ralph. Pietro is Ralph.
Pietro is
That's
Ralph.
confirmed. But when she tackled him and she was able to use her powers to see the necklace around him, you know, that she wasn't surprised that she could do that.
No.
Right.
It's just like
Like she knew she could. She knew what
could
to
do
do.
it.
It
She
seemed
knew
like
what to do.
to read it,
I
to
was
scan.
looking at that part. Well, yes, about the necklace, but I was looking at the part where she like tackled him and like her abilities and stuff. I'm like, I feel like she just had training.
Oh, that part, yeah, that
for
part.
sure.
But like
just
the
seeing
scanning to see like what she could see on him, to see how Agnes was controlling him, or Agatha
then-
was controlling him.
Is it something she can turn on and off, or does she just see it the entire time and they just wanted us to see that?
Right, I don't know.
I don't know.
That's
about
what
that.
I'm thinking. It's more of like an intuitive, like, I don't know if intuitive is the right word, but just something that just naturally happens to her. So she sees something that's a different energy, that's on a different wavelength or whatever, and she sees that effect all the time.
Right.
I don't know.
know.
But now that we know that Pietro is Ralph,
Yes.
Ralph Boner.
Ralph Boner, really, y'all?
That was a cheap
really?
joke. Yeah, y'all could have tried harder.
Really?
Now I'm just like, is he real? Is Ralph real? Was he there? They showed they showed Monica looking at papers that had his name and then saw his
Headshot.
his headshot. But was that part of the illusion or some magic that Agnes created? Does he actually live in that place or not?
Right.
He also had Quicksilver's speed, so was that something that was just from the necklace?
Yeah.
Or did this Ralph person have these powers too? And then we never saw him after Monica took the necklace off of him and said, please don't hurt me or
Because
like
it
that.
seemed like he just was a regular dude again.
Yeah.
Right, so it's just like,
But was that an act?
Was that an act? Who is Ralph?
Boner.
Yeah, I'm confused about that whole thing. I was assuming that the necklace gave him the Quicksilver abilities. But the headshot is weird because it's like, are you, as an inhabitant of Westview, just before all of this happened, are you an actor?
Right.
Or is that just kind of like a joke saying like, oh, he's cast in this role on this show?
Right.
I don't
Another
know.
joke that Marvel's throwing at us.
Right.
I want...
And why be Agnes's husband? Because clearly, I mean, there's a huge age gap there.
Right.
Sorry. But,
It's
yeah.
Hollywood.
I don't know. I don't know if he's
Is he
real.
I don't know if he's real. And even from this universe, I don't know what experience Agatha has with other universes, but like to bring him in or what. But I still think that's an outstanding question for me.
Yeah.
Who
is he really?
Pietro, Ralph, whatever name you want to call him. Is this the end for him? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say to that, but I'm confused about him.
Now do you see? You tied your family to this twisted world, and now one can't exist without the other. Save Westview or save your family.
Okay, so one thing I noticed that I think is going to kind of play into the new Doctor Strange movie is people have been talking about the comic book cover for House of M, I think. There's an image of Wanda and her face is like puzzle pieces and stuff on the cover of the comic. I noticed that that's how, number one, when she was... when the chaos magic first happened and she like built the house and stuff, the house was coming together in puzzle pieces. Then when the kids and Vision at the end were kind of coming apart because she lifted the hex, they were coming apart kind of like in puzzle pieces. So I'm like, y'all dropping little...
Marvel's so good.
Y'all be dropping little... Okay, we see. So I think that was just... maybe an Easter egg of like, this is time, we're gonna see something like this or effects like this later, like hold on to this little piece of information. But yeah, like what role is she gonna play in the Doctor Strange movie, because my girl has unlocked the universe,
right?
And then, she got the key,
right? And Agatha told her that the Scarlet Witch is more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme. So if she's going to be the villain in the next one, or working against Doctor Strange somehow, she has to win. I will not believe it if they say Doctor Strange can't defeat her. You've already told us she's stronger than him.
Unless, with our powers combined, unless he like gets a team of people,
they work
you know
together.
what I mean? I don't...
Or she snaps out of it and says, okay, fine, you win. Like, but it's
or
still her
relinquishing,
that's still not her being defeated.
No.
Yeah.
So
I almost feel like at some way in the movie, they're gonna have to like work together against some other villain, some stronger villain,
because of all the different worlds,
because of all the different universes that she
gonna open up. I mean, Agatha said you have no idea what you've unleashed,
right?
And then the end credit scene.
Yes,
my girl was getting her Doctor Strange on. Is the only way I can explain it. Reading them books and opening. I think we noticed it. I don't know if y'all noticed it, but when she was reading the book, you know, we could see little circles, little red circles around her. They look like planets to me. I interpreted that as planets.
So there's other universes out there.
She's tapping into the multiverse. Yes. She's with her mind.
She heard her son calling for help.
She did.
So in another universe,
she still has her children.
They exist.
Yeah. Which I was also curious about, because when the hex was broken and everything ended and they all went away, I was like, I know these children exist because they exist in the comic books.
Right.
How are they going to still exist? I don't know, to continue that story. They have to be in another universe, right?
So I think in the comic books, they are extensions of Mephisto, and I think that he eventually reabsorbs them. So I don't know if they like live full life. Well, no, they grow up and become Wiccan and whoever.
Yeah.
That was a big question mark for me.
I don't know how that's gonna work.
Yeah, if they'll explore it more, they're just like, this is how we just want to tell the story of these two.
Yeah, like, we're not gonna talk about Mephisto no more. She got kids, they real, they out here flourishing, okay? Like,
no Mephisto, no Nightmare, y'all was just like,
forget about it.
I don't know, because I don't know the comic books, but do they eventually become like the new Avengers?
I think so, yeah.
So, yeah.
They do become Avengers at some point.
But in what universe?
Exactly. Yeah. But I don't know, maybe with the new worlds that she's opened up, maybe Mephisto or Nightmare is paying attention to that, and they're like, oh, let's go, Scarlet Witch is here, let's go figure this out. So maybe they'll be in the Multiverse of Madness as the villains, because it is a horror film. So I mean, Mephisto and Nightmare sound like a horror to me.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll see.
Yeah, I'm ready for Doctor Strange. I think that's gonna be crazy.
Also, did you guys peep the end credit scene with Wanda outside? Is very reminiscent of Thanos.
Very. She did whatever she needed to do, and now she's resting in the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere. That scene looked very.
Somebody gonna come find her.
Yes,
just like
but she protected her house, so
she did.
Ain't nobody going to come in and do nothing on her. She got them. She got
ain't
the
no cutting her head off.
Right.
But that's just against other witches, though, right? The runes protect against other witches.
It did say she did say the witch that casts the spell, no other. I'm not that extent to other magical powers. It's a good question.
I don't know.
We shall
gonna see.
the commercials. I just want to bring that up because, who was it? Norm said that when you let us sleep, we see your nightmares.
Right.
Oh.
So I'm wondering if the commercials we were seeing, if those were Wanda's nightmares. Because, you know, your nightmares and your dreams are kind of weird. They never really make sense.
They don't.
So I'm wondering if she saw that in the commercials. Or if the commercials were something that Agatha was doing to help wake her up out of this world she created.
True.
And also then, who are the actors that were in the commercial? They're not people in the town, so how did she create these people? Everything in Westview was real, so these commercials are real.
They came from somewhere.
Something.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, you know, we've talked about the commercials representing the different Infinity Stones, but they also correlate to moments in Wanda's life.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, oh, the commercials are nightmares.
Right. Because they weren't pleasant.
No.
It's not that soul one.
No.
The yogurt one.
They progressively got worse.
Right.
Yeah, they did.
So maybe...
Oh.
Did we just have a moment? I'm just thinking when she said snacking on your magic and we saw the boy
shrivel
up. That's what happened to Wanda.
Yeah.
She shriveled on up. She was snacking on her magic.
Right.
Sorry, just one second.
Yeah, I was thinking what you said about maybe it was Agnes giving her the or making the commercials. It kind of makes sense because she was saying that she was gently trying to nudge Wanda and she was like, you know what, I ain't got time for this. Like, we just gonna get straight to it. That would make sense. Like, the first few commercials were very subtle and very much like, this is what happened in your life. Here's a little symbolism. Here's a little...
right now.
Right. Here, you know... And then we get to your magic, and it's like, heifer, if you don't wake up and give me what I want,
yes,
we gonna fight.
We gonna fight.
So I think I think that could be true. Right. I think that could be Agnes implanting, you know, stuff in her mind because obviously she wasn't influenced by what was going on in the Hex.
Right.
So that's interesting. Maybe it was her creating the commercials, and if so, like you said, where are those people? They had children and everything. Where the kids go? They did.
They clearly
Everybody
weren't her parents. Like we were almost led to believe possibly is a possibility. But
I don't trust nothing on the internet no more.
I don't.
But
I don't believe nothing y'all say no more.
Why?
But I mean, like, if Wanda was creating and you think those would be people in her life, so we would know. So that's why I'm like, if it's not her nightmare, then it's something that Agatha created.
Agatha created that mess.
I think that's good. That is very good. And I still am stuck on the fact that her fingers were turning black.
Yeah.
When she was casting her spells and stuff. Like, I don't know if that's just a witch thing for her. Like, if that's just something that happens to her.
From, like, from working with dark magic and reading the Darkhold, but that's something that transformed her. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of any other witchcraft things where, like, you turn
their
black
fingers change
or something
colors.
when they use it. Because I feel like, it almost feels like it's draining to use that much power.
For Agatha?
For Agatha. I mean, she's old. Supposedly, right?
Yeah.
16, whatever that year was.
1693?
So maybe...
And her appearance did change the more that she was using powers. Like, she actually started to turn black, like, in her face.
Yeah, she was looking more haggard.
And then
like,
I feel like once she started taking powers, then it would fade back. And she kept going back and forth.
It's almost like you take she's absorbing the power, and it's either too much or it's just enough where she can keep her appearance, but as she's using it, it's draining it also out of her. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's why her fingers were turning black.
I don't know. I need to do more research on her to figure out exactly what her powers are and how she's able to absorb people's powers like that.
And how magic works. Because
how magic works.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
And, like, the part where they were both flying at the end when Wanda did her runes and stuff, her giving Agnes the power and, like, looking all drained and stuff like that, was that an illusion?
I think it was an illusion.
I felt like it was an illusion.
Okay.
I felt like...
Because I wasn't 100% sure, because I'm like, how was she able to come back if she gave her magic away?
I think it was a mix of both, because she was throwing magic, her powers at the walls, and throwing it at Agnes. So I think it was just a combination.
Like, let me give you some while I do this over here.
Right.
Because I also noticed that, you know, she did look drained, but she was also still floating, and I thought
that's what was confusing me.
You think she would have
fell out?
Yeah, if she would have given her all her power.
And then she didn't have to do anything to get her powers back. She kind of just waved her hand, and then she came back to her normal self, and then she started taking the power that she gave
Agatha.
She started taking that back and took Agatha's power. So I think she gave her some. I think she gave just enough to do the runes.
But then created an illusion for herself to look like, oh, we need to look dried up.
Yes.
We need to make her think she's one. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And how does she know how to do the runes? Like,
she just
girl,
a quick learner.
But when you do spells, there are things that you have to say.
Well, remember, I think Agatha
It's like, do you call her Agnes or do you call her Agatha?
I know, it's like going back and forth.
Agnes, though.
When she had her in her basement and she was telling her about the runes, did she kind of recite the spell a little bit, or
I feel like she was just like pointing, like when Wanda was trying to do magic.
Wanda can read people's minds and stuff,
That's
so maybe
true.
she went inside her mind and figured it out, because she did put Agatha in that illusion when she was in her witch trial or like that. So I feel like she can go in and dig and get stuff out of people's minds when she wants it.
She couldn't read Agnes's mind.
So she couldn't have done it in the basement, but maybe after.
She couldn't do it in the basement, but outside the basement, all of that. Agnes didn't put control stuff in that area. She didn't
the entire time that prior to her being in the basement, did she ever try to read Agnes's mind? Like,
she did say you never had
to, you couldn't.
My mind's never been open to you.
Yeah.
Ooh, she did say that. She didn't say you just can't read my mind in here.
Yeah.
She just said my mind has never been open to you.
I think she peeped that Wanda was controlling the people in the town, so she was like, let me put a little juju on myself.
Okay, so maybe what I said don't make sense. So yeah, I don't know then how
she would have been able to
knew. Unless she just has a good memory and she was like, I'm just gonna copy what it is. Like, she didn't need to read mine. She was just like, I'm gonna copy.
Or because she's a Scarlet Witch, maybe she was just saying stuff like, I want her to not be able to do magic.
Yeah.
Boom. And then the rooms did their own thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because we now know she was able to stop that drone from exploding.
Right. Without knowing that she was able to do that.
Right. Yeah. So maybe there are certain spells that certain people have to say. She is...
Talk about it.
Agatha said the Scarlet Witch does not require incantation. So she don't have to say nothing. She don't have to say nothing.
She don't have to say
They
anything.
gave it to us right there. They gave it to us.
Dang.
We have a habit of thinking things so far that we forget the minor details. We're sorry.
They gave it to us.
We're trying to find stuff in everything.
Because there be stuff in everything.
Right. So we thank y'all when y'all be coming back and saying, y'all, remember this? The blip happened. Like, it's...
Because when I say I go all the way left, every time.
I gotta figure it out. That you just missed the minor things.
I'm like, no, but that crumb on the counter meant that they had ants. So the ants symbolize Ant-Man. He coming.
That sandwich was
like, girl,
a symbolism of the hex coming apart because stuff.
Like, girl, they just dirty. They don't clean. That's why they got crumbs.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, it was right there. We got it.
Right there.
We got it.
Yeah.
Discussion over. Moving on.
Missing person.
Missing.
What?
Bleeping
Marvel, did you forget about the
missing
missing person?
Did they forget what
I think that they forgot they told us that.
Or Jimmy just forgot, don't care, because when everything went back to normal, he was never like,
my guy.
I gotta go get my
girl.
guy. I gotta...
Wasn't even thinking about it.
Not.
That we could see.
And then I think you pointed out that we never saw Mr. Hart again.
Mr. Hart was gone, yeah.
Like, in the town at the end, everybody, like, we hadn't seen Dottie for a while. She came back. Where was Mr. Hart?
Maybe he's the missing person. But even still, why? Why tell us that? You just needed a reason for Jimmy to be there, I think.
Are we getting season 2? No. But...
No.
What was the purpose?
Well, I mean...
Y'all could have just given us Boo without having him go on some wild goose chase.
I mean, I guess it would have... We needed to have a reason for him to have shown up, just to have him in the mix.
Right.
But it's
we
like...
need a payoff. What?
Who was the missing person?
Like, is he gonna be the new director of S.W.O.R.D or something? Like, what is the payoff for Jimmy? He spent all this time fooling around with these people being arrested, fighting, all of that stuff.
He gained a promotion.
I'm like, unless we missing it again, y'all, in the comments. If they tell us and we missed it.
Did they hold up a picture real quick? Did he glance to the right and we didn't see? Like, I don't...
Or is Ralph the missing person? I don't know.
I don't think I care no more.
I do, because y'all made that a thing
it's
for us to be
frustrated
looking
me.
for in who is the missing person. And nobody, they made a whole point about nobody knowing who he is or remembering who he is, and it didn't make sense. So
will his people remember now?
Is it Pietro? I don't know. Who's the missing person?
Now that the hex is broken, like, is he gonna go back to Oakland, and the person's loved one's gonna be like, oh yeah. Mr. Hart, but not Mr. Hart. That's aggravating. Don't do that no more.
Was he not? I don't know. Was the missing person actually not in Westview, and Jimmy just happened to come across Westview while he was there?
No,
Maybe
they sent him.
They said he was in Westview.
Mm-hmm. That was the hideout.
I
don't know.
Them and Matt.
I got nothing.
I don't know.
I got nothing.
I have absolutely nothing. Don't do that no more.
That's WandaVision.
It was awesome.
That was a great ride.
It was great.
It's a good time. Lots of stress, but we got some answers, and we definitely have some things to look forward to for
sure.
whatever's coming next from Marvel.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I think this was definitely a good kickoff to kind of invigorate my Marvel excitement, because we've gone so long. We've gone so long without anything.
Pandemic.
So yeah, I'm ready for whatever's next. I don't think Falcon and the Winter Soldier are going to tie into this at all.
No, I don't think so.
But I'm still excited regardless.
Yeah. I'm hoping that leads to something else.
Something bigger.
Something bigger.
Mm-hmm.
What? I don't know.
So we're going to be watching, and y'all come back. Stay tuned.
Thanks for watching
Falcon
us.
and Winter Soldier. It's been fun. Bye.
Bye.